Yeah.
We can pause the
That's-
record. Order, it is 5:30 PM and we do have quorum. Oh, and then we have another one. I think we might get everybody today. That's gonna be good. Greg is on.
Is Sherry on a boat? She's on vacation. No, she's in a car. Okay, that's the roof.
Sherry, you're on vacation.
Sherry, go be on vacation.
You can do this.
Come back, mommy.
I was like, what?
All right,
It'll blow up.
Amira, you wanna do a roll call?
Yes,
Once you're done letting people in?
I think that is good. All right, Doug Mendenhall,
We can see him, but
Doug, we can see you, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Now he's here, maybe.
Michaela Emerson.
right here.
All right. John Estel. I don't think I saw him. Todd
Yeah,
Vaughn.
I'm here.
Thank you, Doug.
That is debatable.
Greg Innerly. I don't think I saw him.
He's gonna be here in a minute. He's-
Okay. Kathy Duper Spring
Present.
and Lisa Lanza.
Here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go ahead and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. George, you wanna lead us today?
Sure.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right. All right, move on to the consent agenda. So we have. We just have one set of minutes to go through. Did everybody have a chance to take a look at those? And any corrections? It looks good to me.
make a motion to accept the minutes as they have been offered.
I second.
Okay, Todd made a motion, Kathy seconded. All those in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose?
You asshole.
Oh,
What was that?
Doug, you're not on mute anymore, bud.
Don't call someone an asshole.
Is that because of the vote?
Typical I-5 drive.
he wanted to correct something.
Oh.
Oh, is that what it was?
No,
We're sorry, Doug.
I think we got enough to pass that, so.
She's on vacation anyway.
Okay, so then the preventative maintenance report, I do have a question on this, but I don't know if Andre's online.
Sherry, is Andre with you?
No, what?
Huh?
On vacation?
They're on vacation.
He was here.
He is not in the car with me, so, but, yeah, I don't know if he logged in from his phone because he's in the truck with the boat.
Sherry, you may or may not know this. It looks like the preventative maintenance report should have been 100%. See, there's 8 out of 8. And it says 100%, but then on the green line there, it says 90%. Is that supposed to be 100?
Very possibly, if there was 8 out of 8.
That's what I'm
Then-
thinking.
Yeah, I mean, we're supposed to be over 80 or 85, I think 85. So even if we were at 90, but if it says 8 of 8, then I would think that it should have been changed to 100.
Okay,
You're
Probably-
competitive people, 90's not good enough.
There's
well,
Andre.
I just,
Oh, there's
it
Andre.
did make sense to me, so, oh, yeah, there we go.
Andre, can you hear us?
He might be muted.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Here he is.
There you
Yes.
go.
We just
Alrighty,
wanted- We just wanted to double check on the preventative maintenance report. It says 8 out of 8, 100%, but then in the green line, it says 90%. Is that supposed to be 100? Is that a typo?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 100. It was a typo. I was trying to adjust the form for, because it goes over for multi-year, so I backed it up and I probably went over one by accident.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah, it was 100%.
so we'll
I'll
just
make-
need a motion to accept this as corrected. That will be 100% instead of 90.
And I will make the adjustment.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Does anybody want to make that motion
So,
to accept the preventative?
Second.
maintenance report? Okay, Kathy
Yay,
made a
Lisa.
motion, Lisa seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That passes. Okay. Done with these. Okay, moving right along. ODOT updates. Does he have Jennifer online? I didn't see her.
Yes, I did see her.
She did.
I am here.
Oh, hi Jennifer. What do you got for us?
Want to encourage everybody to sign up, anybody who works on the report for the training that we have this Tuesday. So that would be tomorrow, the 17th, for STIF. There's additional information that's going to be provided for that training. Highly recommend it. Great way to learn a little bit more about what we're reporting on and what is happening there. We also have trainings coming up in July for financial management. Good spot for the new board members to possibly slip into that. And then any of the current board members and staff. And then the drug and alcohol, which I believe Sherry and Andre and I'm not sure who else is signed up for that one. But we do have that training. Legislative session has 14 days left. The transportation, they had a meeting last week where they had testimony from transit agencies regarding the support of the transit bill, and that will be voted on. I believe that we have some testimony coming this week, and then has to be either approved or moved forward in a different direction by next week. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, perfect. Can we get those trainings maybe sent out to the board?
Mhm.
And then we'll have to talk about getting new email addresses and things like that for the new board members, so that's gonna be sent after July 1st. Okay. All right, Sherry, we don't want to keep you too long. Did you want to report on your financial report?
Does anybody have any questions on it? Have you guys been able to review it?
Yeah, I took a look at it. I don't have any questions. We're also doing the adopted budget, which this is just a copy of the changes that we made from last time, correct?
Yes, that's just the resolution page that shows that the board adopted the budget from last month with the changes that were made.
Mhm.
Do we need to make a motion on that again?
No, you guys already
Okay.
voted on it. I just wanted to include it so that you guys saw that it was finalized. And then
Okay,
the only
Yeah.
thing I have to do is I'll probably be doing some work tomorrow from home, so I will make sure that I get our budget has to be sent over to ODOT, and Jennifer sent me some other guidance on it, so I will make sure that I get it sent to all the appropriate places.
okay, and is this where we're going to be talking about the COLA increase?
I think that probably will be Ben's,
Yeah, I'll be doing that on.
yeah.
CRP.
Okay, okay,
Yep, so if
Perfect.
you guys don't have any questions on the financial report, apologize, I don't have it in front of me because I am driving.
You're on vacation.
You should have it
I am.
memorized.
We just got done at the lake, so we had a good family day.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I will entertain a motion to accept the financial report.
So.
Kathy's making all the motions. Kathy made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Again,
And all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, that's it. Okay, moving right along. Thank you guys for helping get through this quickly. Oh, okay, public comment for on agenda items only. Do you have any public comment today? No, Kat, are you sure? I like when cats speak. Okay, then we will move right along to number, oh, did we have any public comment online? We do have some people in there. If you have a public comment and you're online, you can come off mute. Just identify yourself. No? Okay, move right along, compliance update. I don't know if we have any updates on this, but we're keeping this on here until we get to our 365 days, which is the only thing that was left on the compliance. Are there any updates?
We're
We're still
compliant.
on track, okay, perfect. And we will keep that on for another,
We're actually compliant in every single way, besides the things that they track for 365 days. So just a report. It's not even.
right,
out
and
of
we're done
compliance.
reporting in September and October.
George? Sorry?
When are we done reporting? Is it October
365?
for the 365 day items?
Off the top of my head, I think it's October.
Yeah, I think it's October too.
I think so too. So we'll keep this on agenda until October. That's just a reminder for myself. Okay. Number 9. Oh, we don't have anything for this. Driver safety. That is you.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of Craig Kinney on that and see if he's interested in the verbal judo. So I've reached out to him. I think I'll give you his number and see if you can. I don't know if supposedly it's the right number. So he'd be the only one that I know of. He'd be perfect if he'd do it. When I saw him at the memorial, he said he would. So,
Okay.
and now that we got the dates, we got the 2 different dates.
Mhm.
So I mean, the time frame. So
perfect,
so before we leave today, I'll give you his number.
good deal,
Yeah.
thank you.
And he'll know at least somebody that is close to it. Like I say, we can't use the verbal judo because that's with the law enforcement, but it's the same type of thing with the
Right.
civilian one, so.
Yeah,
And he'll be certified. He's the only one I know of that's certified to teach it.
perfect. Okay. So Greg, I'll get that over to you in there.
I think it's for civilians that call it de-escalation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, town hall event. Do we have a date for that?
Yeah,
No, not
right.
yet.
Not yet, but we're targeting for 6 months out from our last one.
Yep, I have it on my calendar in the email for that month. But once we get a date, I'll reach out to RHS again for the auditorium and get that all set up.
Yeah, and I think if we can get
When-
that scheduled out just a little bit, a
When
little
are
bit
you
further
looking
ahead.
for? What month?
It would be 6 months from
From last month.
Oh, okay,
so
Yeah, so-
November.
11th
Yeah.
of November, yeah.
November.
A former hygienist, I think, recalls. I can do 3, 6, 9, all of them.
Okay, we have nothing under new business. How do we have nothing under new business? Okay, moving right along, number
What happens when
11.
you get shit done?
I love those. It's great, okay, project update, so CEO report, go ahead, Ben.
Biggest thing today, we announced, the 5% COLA increase across the board for every employee, which is a big thing considering where we started out. Basically insolvent, and now we're able to, through excellent management from George and Andre and just the team here, we're able to, save tons of money, which we talked about, last board meeting, that I think it was like 500,000, 600,000 every biennium. And that's just shifting some buses around, cutting down on maintenance costs, cutting down on fuel costs, a little bit of FTA, but not too much. And so, being able to do that allows us to stock, money back into the, reserves and start replenishing that and also do this COLA increase, which I'm super proud of. We gotta be more competitive with our wages here, in order to attract drivers and employees and staff that we need. So I think this is gonna be, a big step toward doing that. And so we announced that, press releases on the website. We also sent it out to local media, of course, you know, they probably won't, I don't know if they're saying anything, but here's the big thing about it. We did it without not a single extra penny. We're not, this isn't costing taxpayers more money. This is just better management leading to better pay without charging the taxpayers. This is, we doged the place, okay? Before Doge was even Doge. And so that I think we can all hang our hats on. And then the advertising program that we've been working on is developed, it's live. It's up and running. And so there's things we're doing to continually develop, like our customer facing materials, stuff like that. But the program is designed and done, and structured and priced and cost analysis, and everything is in place. And so we're operating it as of last week, as promised. And so that's a big thing. And I think that's going to bring in a lot of money. We have some of the differences that in the advertising program now versus what it was when I got here. When I got here, there was no inventory. So there was no real understanding at the agency about how you sell advertising and what is it that you sell. We sell inventory. So every single surface that we can put an advertisement on in the district is now documented, numbered, cataloged, so that we can track inventory properly, and then we have it all properly priced so that it's actually profitable. We're obviously not making money selling bus tickets, okay? That's not the point. The point is to get people around and to, you know, boost the economy and to help people that need it get where they need to go. The advertising program is different. We're here to make a profit. We're here to create discretionary funds so that we can further invest those funds back into the community in different ways. And also create revenue source so that the taxpayers aren't having to pay for that. We're providing a service to the community. We have a lot of inventory. And so when I said that we can make this a six-figure program, a lot of people are like, nah. Look, the reality is we have so much inventory that it's going to be more than that, right? Like, I mean, not more than seven figures, but six figures, but it's gonna be more than 100 grand, 150,000 a year. It's gonna be more than that because we have the inventory for it. We created it. We just scoured the whole district and looked at every surface and looked at the benches and looked at the shelters. We walked inside buses and we said, oh my God, we can put them up here. We can put them up here. We can put them in here. So we have all these areas we can do. We have a better program for bus wrapping and everything else, and doing side wraps, and then also the ads on the sides. So we just created probably 300% more inventory in this program than what was currently there. So we're going to give local businesses and organizations just a better product to get their messaging out. So we do need you to approve the advertising policy, which I believe is coming up in a minute. So we'll get back to that.
While we're waiting for spaces to be filled, are we gonna take advantage of it with our own advertising? Are we able to do that?
Yeah.
So like the town hall could be
advertised on the bus.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah, we can absolutely do
Because
that.
that's a good way to get our word out and also show that it's an effective way for businesses to utilize too.
Yep, 100%. And one of our, kind of our next phase of that is to get improve the communications to the riders. And so we're going to be transforming over the next month or two, transforming all the the collateral that would be on the buses, the Title VI, the rules, the information, how to, the bus schedules. We're in the process too of making shifts there. We're going to be getting that information out to people and doing it on the bus and also doing it online and other areas. So yeah, we can absolutely advertise things on it for ourselves. That space is unless someone pays for it, we should use it to communicate.
That's what I was figuring.
So
it's good use of it.
Yeah, it's great use of it, right? And so, and there's that, and then we're also working with, the last 6 months, we've reached out to every single municipality that the district serves, and not one single municipality got back to me to meet. Okay. We had one finally get back to us, and that was Sutherland, and we began a meeting and began a relationship with Sutherland today. So I met with them this morning. I met with the leadership of the city of Sutherland. And so it was a wonderful meeting. Everybody in there was really great. I learned a lot about how we could get more ridership out of Sutherland and how we can serve the Sutherland community and getting people in and out of Roseburg more efficiently, more effectively. And then, of course, immediately came back and talked to my team about it. And we're gonna see how that plays out, and we're gonna try to get, because one of the things we did to get these costs cut down is we contracted the district to be more efficient. So that when we grow, we talked about this before, so that when we grow from an efficient place, not from a broken place. And when I came in, the place was broken and it had grown from a broken place. And so it just exacerbates the problems. If you grow with problems, especially when you get government money, because more money just creates more problems if you're problematic to begin with. So this contraction and expansion process is going to be a very, very effective process, but it's a careful expansion, very careful. We want to expand only to expand the number of riders that we serve. And so because that's the point, that's the mission. So that connection with Sutherland today was wonderful. They're great people, the mayor and some city council members and the CEO of the city, and we all had great rapport, and it was a very, very productive meeting. And we immediately got to work within the first hour after that session. So I think they appreciate that, and I think they're glad we met, and I'm glad we met. So we need to build those relationships, and I can't make them meet with us, right? Can't make them meet with us, but when they do, they find out, wow.
You probably could make them.
No, I don't want to, I can, there's ways.
We'd
But,
rather have it be positive.
Exactly. But no, that was very positive. So I just wanted you guys to know these positive relationships are being developed now that we're through the triage phase. And then, of course,
I got a question, Ben.
yes,
So in regard to the advertisement spaces, are you guys going to produce, or have you produced a catalog?
Yeah.
To hand out to businesses that show the different types of spaces and the price?
Yeah.
You have?
yeah, we have the full, you have what's called a media kit. And the media kit explains the demographics, who they can, who they're connecting to, what they're gonna get for it. We want the right advertisers, right? We don't want people advertising stuff inside the bus is gonna be very different than outside the bus, because you're targeting multiple different demographics. So all that stuff's designed and built out and ready to roll. All the data's there.
All right.
Yeah, so that's part of the whole sales process. We have the whole process mapped out. ABC, EFG, all the way down, all the way through. So Amira, it's your process, and she's great for it. Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Without Amira, this couldn't be done because she did the work. Like I said in the very first day, but it's not gonna be me that does it. It's gonna be y'all that does it, and Amira does it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Good job, Amira. Awesome.
And on that note, I have something else too. I wanna, the district, wanted to honor, the board members that are outgoing. Today is their last meeting here. And so we wanted to honor you because what just happened here could not have happened without you. It wouldn't have happened without you. This district would not be here right now without you. And that's a fact, and that's the truth, and no one can deny it.
Totally true. I agree.
And so I think that regardless of the election outcomes, it's incredibly important that the district recognizes what you stepped up to take on. Because when you stepped up to take this on, others stepped out. And they stepped down because they didn't want the risk. But you guys took the risk, and you didn't do it for yourselves, because what do you get for it? Right? You did it for the people.
Had a nice kick in the
You
butt.
got it.
Yeah. Right through the mud. So,
You're featured
but you
in
did it for the community, you did it for the people, and so I think that this needs to be recognized and honored and understood. It needs to be absolutely clear. What you went through, what you sacrificed, and what you accomplished. So, on that note. No, Todd, you're going first.
Do I get a golden key like
No,
Elon
we're
got?
not that rich in Roseburg
A
yet.
key to the
Elon got a
bus.
golden key.
You get your own bus named after you. It's a gold bus.
Oh, what is this now? A trophy?
Wow.
Just something to
It's
remember.
even heavy.
Wow.
In recognition of your dedication, leadership, and commitment to public service as a member of UPTD Board of Directors. Your contribution has helped shape a stronger future for our community. Thank you. That's wonderful, you guys. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Come here. Oh, thank you very much.
That's,
And,
that's very
Lisa,
nice. Thank
yeah,
you.
Lisa
John,
and John, I have yours here.
My desk thing.
Lisa,
wow.
you
This
on
could be
there?
a lethal.
Yeah, I'm here.
We have one for you. I'd love to connect with you and hand deliver it.
That's beautiful.
John's
Thank
not
you,
on,
guys.
but I would like to do the same for John as well. You guys accomplished something pretty incredible here.
Yes, thank you guys for stepping up. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I thank all of you. It is. For, taking the ball and running too. I just, it's nice to step out. And step out and see how different than it was a year ago when I stepped in.
Yeah,
I'm really proud
Mhm.
of what you guys have done, so thank you.
No, we couldn't have done it without you.
And it also, just for my one little, it shows you that you don't necessarily have to be an expert in transportation to get work done, you know?
That's what I told the leaders of Southern. I said, they wrote in the papers
Yeah,
how,
but you don't,
how hard it was and how complicated, but really it's not that complicated.
yeah,
You look at your routes and you go, wow, these are silly. And then you look at where money gets thrown out the door and you go, wow, that's silly. And then you just fix it and you get the right people in the right seats.
I'm just proud of the team
Yeah,
that
the right people
we
in the right
helped
seats.
bring together,
Yeah.
because you guys are just awesome.
yeah, George and Mary,
Yeah.
you guys are amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you.
are.
Yeah, George is,
And I do
We're very
hope the
lucky.
people that
it's like nuking an ant.
take over will recognize that as well, you know? And let this group flourish the way they have been.
Yeah. Okay, so we kind of jumped around a little bit.
Just a little bit.
No,
So
hey, those are all in my notes for the
I
CEO
have
report.
one question about the CEO report, though.
Yeah.
The branding that is, I know things are being updated all over. The stops, the bus
Yeah.
stops, those were going to be updated.
Yeah.
Where are we on that?
Well, we're ready. It takes a while to go get the exact dimensions of all the surface areas of all the signs and all the shelters and the benches. And so we've done that.
Mhm.
Because how many do we have altogether? Signs, benches and shelters? What was it?
Oh, there's 30-something shelters. I don't know about bus signs. off the
Yeah,
top
and
of
there's
my
hundreds
head.
of them. So we're going around and they're all different.
Oh, great.
Of course, because that makes it easier, wrong. So we had to go through and get the right dimensions, otherwise we're replacing things that are, right across, that are,
Right,
we're buying hardware. Right now, we're just gonna put covers over the signs, and then we're gonna have the right size, right dimension, graphics for.
what are
the
they gonna
shelters
say?
and-
So right now it says U-Trans on there, what's it
Yeah.
gonna say now? It's just gonna say us?
It's gonna say up,
Cool. I
yeah,
like that.
and everyone's gonna figure out what that means, pretty much, because that's, and the shelters will say, Umpqua Public Transit, and, so
Okay.
the sides will have up, and then the back will say Umpqua Public Transit.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's the basic layout for the, and we're gonna be ordering that this week, next week.
And try to
Got it
get
all
stuff
priced out,
there
got it bid out,
before-
it's really cheap, it's not that much money.
It's gonna start getting hot though, for whoever's putting those signs on.
Well, whoever's doing it is getting paid for it.
Equip them with lots of water, please. All right, okay, so are we on project management tracking?
Yes.
Is that gonna be George?
And George, you want me to pull up smart sheets?
Yeah, I think that is.
We love smart sheets. It's so cool. Okay,
I know you would like smart sheets.
I like it.
So just, I'm gonna talk, there's just so much information in there. I'll just talk about high level overview of what this last month instead of looking at the whole thing. But some major things that we're working on this last month was finalizing the routes. We knew that we would get the cost savings, but we needed to finalize the new routes. And then also too, we've been working with Era on a better way to communicate the route structure. So the way it was done before, it was very noisy. And so it's very hard to understand the routes.
Yeah.
That were given out to the public. So that's been.
It's hard for me to understand.
Yeah,
Honestly.
it's hard for me too. So we've been going through that process and we've been going through the process of just finalizing the routes. So everything should be right now we are on track to hit that July 1st deadline.
Okay,
All the new routes and putting all the new communication out into the community.
perfect.
The other thing that we've been working on, and this has been more Sherry and I, has been, yes, we're given a COLA increase, but one thing is the environment for the drivers.
Mhm.
And I share this because probably in the next couple of board meetings, we're gonna bring this up,
Okay.
is in relation to their pay structure.
Mhm.
So drivers, when they first got here, were paid a certain amount, and there was this crazy calculation of how things were added up, like a quarter for this and, blah, 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 and this and the other didn't make too much sense.
Mhm.
And then when wages got frozen, well, then we're bringing in new drivers and they actually have less experience than our
Okay.
seasoned drivers, and they're making more money.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, it's all off balance. And so
Okay.
that creates tension within the workplace.
Absolutely.
So what we're gonna try to do, we're gonna try to realign everybody's pay scale,
Okay.
so that way it's right.
Mhm.
And, but of course, it's gonna affect the COLA increases, it's gonna affect our bottom line, and everything like that.
Mhm.
But we have to build that structure of a step process.
Okay.
And so we want that very well cemented.
Okay.
It's gonna take a little bit. We have to contract with HR Answers to help us build that structure. And then we'll roll it up and find out, okay, well, what would be the financial obligation and forecasting out depending on how many steps there are. And what financial obligation we need to do to make it right.
Mhm.
But that is, I think, a top priority for us, right now, for the bus driving morale, because
Absolutely.
it is all just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And people have been here longer, worked here, I get less than new people that we're bringing in, so that just affects everything.
Mhm.
But more to come, but it will take a little bit longer than what we anticipated. We want to get it done right, so I anticipate probably within the next 60 days.
Perfect. I love it.
So will there be changes to anybody's current wages based on this besides the COLA? Other than the COLA?
Probably. It will probably affect not in a negative way to the people that are
Right.
making more right now, but to the people that are making less, that have been here for a longer time, they will probably get more, end up getting more. But again, we have to figure that structure and make sure that financially we can meet our obligations, right?
Right.
And the only other thing is that as we're moving into, one of the things that as I'm tracking all of these projects,
Mhm.
I'm looking to make sure that, one, we are financially sound as we are starting to make some of these decisions. One thing that I am a little bit worried about is money from the federal government.
Right.
There's a lot of unknown, and that's constantly sort of changing. And I think that it would be a good idea to start having conversations in DC regarding transportation, so that way there can be better communication. It is an investment to send someone out there to advocate, but I strongly recommend it right now because of the uncertainty that's in the federal government with the state of Oregon and everybody else. And if you throw politics aside, no matter what, the federal spending package on transportation is going to shrink anyways.
Right.
But what can we sustain if it gets any smaller than that based on the lawsuits that are currently happening right now? And I project that probably happening sometime, like having a conversation with Jennifer, it looks like sometime around August timeframe. So we just need to be ready to have those conversations. But I say, start taking a proactive approach. I think the board should have these conversations right now. We need to send representation now.
And it's a good time now. So as things happen, they remember, oh yeah, that group has actually been really on board with things, you know what I mean?
Correct. And I would recommend sending numbers always speak volumes, so sending a few representatives, but also only concentrate on the Senate. The House already passed their budget. Now, it's going to the Senate, and they're gonna be making sure to get that done here. I heard before the fourth, but no matter what, they're gonna probably try to get it done before recess in August. So now's the time to make that financial commitment to do that. You
Do
gotta get
we-
your voices up there.
Do we have anything that covers this in the budget already?
No, that's not something that we have forecasted out. I mean, these are really unique situations right now, and so I think it's definitely outside of the scope of the budget right now.
Okay, we don't have anything like under training or
Lobbies.
That is what it is, but.
Well, I would call it education. I would say educating center.
Well,
That's a positive and it's-
It has a better spin.
Well, just understand vocabulary is very important, so.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
we say lobbying, then we have to register as lobbyists,
Right.
right? And that's not the intention. The
No.
intention is to go out there and educate senators on why this is so important
Right.
for Oregon and for everybody else nationally,
Right.
right? Everybody else is in the same boat with us when it comes to transportation, public transportation.
And for the more rural areas.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct, absolutely.
So about what percentage of the 25-26 budget revenue that UPT takes in is federal?
Well, that's a great question. I can't think of that. off the top of my head. I'd have to look.
I know there's pass-throughs that, you know, with the
It mixes
state.
together, and so
Ah.
the state gets a chunk, and then,
Jennifer
So-
can probably answer that better.
I can speak to the federal funds.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so the STIF funding and the federal funding isn't quite as much. It's almost it's probably like a 60-40 split.
60 state, 40 fed.
So, yeah, 60 state, 40% fed. It's not, we don't get quite as much on the federal fund side as we do on the state side. We do get a little bit more on the state.
And is any federal, is all the federal and pass through with the state, or does some of it come direct?
No, we don't have enough population in Roseburg to be direct recipients. All of our funds go through ODOT.
So the state.
And
will
that's based
still
off of our
actually-
population. There's not anything we can do about that.
So the state will still, to some extent, control the purse strings, even though it's coming from the feds, is that correct?
Yes, it still passes through the state.
but there might be ways, see, because we're one of the only, if maybe the only, transportation district in Oregon that is 100% compliant with, the Trump administration's FTA rules.
Exactly.
And so they need to know that there's road districts on the left coast that are following the president's orders, and we're compliant in every other way, and also that way. So I don't know if there's something that can be done to that, but you can't know unless you go talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta go sit down in their offices and talk to them.
The special districts are working towards having the ability to have the money come directly, that
That
group.
is,
How is that coming? Does anybody know?
I don't have an update on it, but I do.
But
know
that would
was
be
in the
another thing to
works.
be educating,
Exactly.
if we made the trip,
So-
why that would be so critical.
So the deadline for this budget to be passed is when?
Right now, the Senate is working on it. I think that they said they wanted to get it done by July 2nd.
So we're talking about needing to send somebody now, like in the next 2 weeks.
It might be $5,000 to $10,000 to set up for a budget allocation for travel for education.
There's really no deadline to this. I mean, these guys can argue back and forth. If you go back, if you go to back to the House could reject it. They could go back to the Senate.
Mhm.
There is no real deadline. I've been hearing the same thing, that they're hoping and projecting that they might get it done by the 4th. But you know how Washington DC is.
So then the
Yep.
question is, do we have the 5,000 to 10,000 to allocate for that? And that's a Sherry question. Sherry, are you still there?
I am. Can you repeat the question?
Good. So do we have the $5,000 to $10,000 for travel, education, whatever that can be allocated for that in the budget?
We do. We had the unappropriated funds of what, 199,000. So, and we did take it out of the travel, but you know, we will have additional funds left over. We will have the unappropriated funds.
Well,
So that would just be something that, I mean, it's a certain percentage if we're changing the budget before the board has to approve it, and $5,000 or $10,000 isn't gonna mean that that we have to go through another approval process.
Oh, perfect.
So the board won't have to approve an allocation for that.
So we can
I
just
can
make a
approve it.
motion to approve travel for or for education.
Do we know
Yeah,
who-
I would say up to a certain amount.
Yeah, we know.
Okay,
Perfect.
so we need a dollar amount, and do we need to decide who, or you guys
We
decide?
can figure that out.
Did you just say you know them?
He knows who to get a hold
Yeah, we know to meet with
No,
the
I'm
DC,
talking
we know
about
who goes there.
send.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did
Yeah.
leave some travel for training in there. We decreased some of it. We did away with the flights and anything that was out of state.
That was before we had done the rerouting,
Right.
saved so much money and changed our budget drastically, really. So we were cutting those areas pretty hard, so.
We did.
And the truth, the fact is that the district itself is totally unrepresented by our state government. Our executive branch is risking our funding. 40% of our funding across the state. And so with that being the case, I think it's really critical that, that we go around them.
Yeah.
It's kind of the only option, because we don't know what's gonna happen, but it's the only real option we have.
I think it's a smart move.
So we need to decide amount. And then we, make a motion for the CEO to determine who goes.
I was understanding Sherry as her saying that this could be done later. In other words, we
We
can
don't need
pass
to
the
make a-
budget
we don't
as
need to make a
is,
board
and then this
motion.
could be done.
The budget is already passed, but
Okay,
this hasn't been allocated for that, and they have to do this in 2 weeks. So there's no doing it later. It
oh, I
has to be
see,
done
I see
now.
what you're saying.
Because July 1st is the deadline,
July 2nd.
or July 2nd.
But Sherry,
That's 2 weeks from now.
Sherry, are you there? Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Yeah, just, so I think, just to make sure I understand what you're saying, are you saying that we don't need a board motion to do that? Because we already have the budget category in place?
Well, we already have some travel and training in there. Are you wanting to allocate more money for travel and training? And even if it was $5,000 or $10,000, that amount is not going to be enough where the board is going, where we're going to have to vote for a new budget. Because
Okay,
it's a
so-
percentage of the budget that if we're changing it drastically, yes, the board will have to revote. We'd
I don't
have
think
to.
We should change it drastically, but I also don't want to eat into the training that, especially with all the new board members that we're going to have.
Right.
They need to be able to go to the conference in October, November, and I don't want this eating up all of that money.
So, yeah, so what we need to do is what Sherry's saying is there's 190,000 in
I would just say
unallocated, create a new
the
category.
board maybe should just say that the, whatever it is, up to $10,000 is in addition to what's already in here, not that it's
Exactly.
eating this
Yeah.
up. Because I don't want us to then get to November and go, oh, we have no money to send the new board members to the conference.
I believe that would be acceptable, but I would defer to Jennifer just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure that that would be okay.
The other thing we could do is just make a motion to amend the 25-26 budget by 5,000 or 10,000, whatever, in that category. I'm sure we could do that even though the budget's passed, can you amend a budget?
I don't think we need to amend the budget. I think we just are sort of giving it our blessing for them to be moving that money
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
from
Yeah, it's just a
unallocated.
blessing.
Do we need a motion to do that?
Yes,
And the amount will not be set
the amount should be set.
under 10,000?
I think that's.
Or
vague enough.
10,000 cow.
Yeah,
No more than 10,000.
All right, I'll make a motion to be able to move that money for the sake of getting some representation in Washington DC
Educating.
up to $10,000 at the discretion of the CEO and I would say George. I mean, you two guys can run it together.
okay, Todd made a motion
Second.
and Kathy seconded. Any further discussion? I have something actually, just really quickly, especially with what's popping up on here. We did just amend our bylaws. Noting specifically that if people are going to be participating in lobbying, activities, that the board members are allowed and the CEO is allowed to register as a lobbyist to lobby on behalf of UPTD. But they do have to follow ORS, there are rules associated with that. So if you're going to be participating in that, it's a good idea to register as a lobbyist to CYA. So
Which
You know,
we've done in Oregon.
we have done,
It's not too hard, it's not too painful.
very easy to do. So, that's all I have for discussion. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of this motion to allocate $10,000 for education to DC, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Okay, I want to get this moving along, you guys. We gotta get out of here in 15 minutes.
Yeah, the river.
I have a lady.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, advertising updates. We already went through that, but we have a policy that we need to accept. So any questions on the proposed policy in 11.3? And if there are no questions, I will entertain a motion to accept the advertising policy.
Is that what this is?
Yes,
I second it,
I need a motion first.
motion.
Okay.
Well, the motion.
Greg made a motion.
All right.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Todd seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of accepting the advertising policy, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay. Okay, that passes. Easiest thing tonight. Okay, ridership numbers. Who's going over that? George, is that you?
No.
Okay. They put your name on it, which is
Oh, they put
pretty
my name
mean
on
if
it?
they didn't tell you your,
Put George's name on what? I missed that.
BOD ridership
the
numbers.
ridership numbers.
Yeah, I don't have the most updated, let's see. I wonder if they were, oh. On the. let's see.
George, I can,
Roseburg
this
Saturday
foxhole with you.
service has increased. That's good. Saturday service has increased by 36%.
You got my glasses.
I am still working on the ridership dashboards.
Oh, okay.
So
you got it?
Yeah, thank you. There's plenty to go. A little bit better.
I actually like this presentation a lot better than usual. I mean, it's usually so many pages and this is like, you can pull the data out immediately.
yeah, this is a project. In and of itself, getting these numbers figured out.
Yeah, I like this one. This is really nice.
I'm trying to make them a little bit easier and more consistent,
Mm-hmm.
but there is so much data and the software that I need. We can't afford, and so I'm trying to manually build it right now.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, like, from the data, the ridership has been going up, trying to climb back up to pre-COVID numbers.
Yeah,
But right now, of course, we're gonna see a dip, we've already started seeing a dip in ridership, once school.
into the summer, yeah.
Yeah.
We expect that. Okay, any questions on the ridership numbers, you guys? Okay, not on agenda, well, we just did the thank you
Mhm.
to the board members, so we're done with that. Public comment for any not on agenda item. Anyone online? Mhm.
I do want to ask for clarification
Oh,
on,
hold on, name
oh,
and where you're from.
yeah, okay.
For the record.
Capstone, Roseburg, Green District. And I just, is that all I need to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the record.
Because I didn't get the part about who we're sending to Washington DC, who's making the decision. And I know it was, the one question was, who are you going to see? And I wasn't particular, I figured I could figure that one out. But Ben is going to decide who will go. Is that?
Well, just to clarify really quickly, because I don't want to get drug into this. Public comment is for the public to comment, not for the board to answer questions. But
Oh,
Pat, we're gonna answer your question.
Wow. Wow. I think
The reason why is because then this turns into a back and forth and it
Yes.
can get messy. So that's, I like to stick with that, but I think that's very pertinent. My understanding is that the CEO runs this district and he would be the one making the decision on who to send.
I'll send
Now-
our best people.
Now, the gentleman in Washington
For that job.
who was appointed as the director of the FTA, what is his name? I can't remember off the top of my head.
George, you know?
Oh, I know his name. Anyway, that would be who we're needing to go meet. And he was just appointed by President Trump, maybe 3 months ago or something like that.
Yeah.
It was very
It was
recently,
something
so-
similar to Puff Daddy, but it's P. Diddy.
Oh my God, I love it.
That's how I remember him.
So maybe it's not the FTA.
Matthew.
Who is it?
Levels.
Webbles. Yeah, I think that is it. Anyway, he is. My understanding is he's sort of doging, transportation. So I believe that we probably would be well received in what we've done here in our small district. I think that would be well received in Washington and we might be able to secure that funding. That's the entire reason why we did it. And if we can get the funding directly, that gives our community so much more control over what we can do.
Yeah. And influential people in the Senate, too,
Yeah,
as long as you're
Yeah,
there,
we-
because they vote.
The Congress passes the spending,
Right.
and, the regulations, the law, right? So, and spending is part of the law, but, we can get a meeting with the FDA director because we have connections with other cabinet members, in Trump's cabinet, so, we can make those connections happen. I'm 90% positive, that we can make those connections, those meetings happen. We can make them happen fast. And then we also have a number of connections in Congress and then the Senate. We can also set those meetings up too. Key ones, strategic meetings with Republicans because they have power.
okay. Do you have more public comment? Okay, yeah, say your name and the city that you're from for the record.
Becky Von Winston. The advertising policy that was just adopted. Question, where would I find it?
Here, I'll give you my copy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can give her a,
I have it. I mean, I have. it.
oh, okay.
You don't have
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Man, maybe give her one of those press packets so she can look at it.
Oh, yeah. Fill out the inquiry on the website.
If anybody's interested in advertising.
Well, I am, that's,
Okay.
I was,
The policy is the structure of it. The fun part is, all the other goodies to put it together. So
We have an amazing designer in our CEO as well.
you're not supposed to tell anybody that.
He is very talented and we get the benefit of that. So when we do get these buses wrapped, they're gonna look really, really good. It's gonna pop, like everyone in Roseburg's gonna notice. So, and I think we're going to be able to attract some really good advertisers, some, good businesses that can afford to actually pay for the quality that they're gonna get. So it's gonna elevate this area. I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, and I'm excited to look forward to getting the logo and the branding out there.
Yeah.
Over the next couple weeks. That's
Me
gonna be,
too.
yeah, we're meeting with our vendor tomorrow on that, so.
Well, I love the branding because just what it sort of represents when you hear us, you're getting picked up, but we're also elevating, we're bringing Douglas County up, and I love it.
That's the idea.
So good, so good. Okay, anybody
And
online
public
for
is-
public comment?
Right in there.
Did we have anybody on there in your end? I know there are lots of people online, so I don't want to miss anybody. If you have public comment and you're online, you can unmute yourself and I just need your name and where you're from. No. Okay, perfect, then let's move on.
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
would, ask, for the, opportunity to make a read a written statement
Of
as
course,
a board member?
Sure.
Would that be all right with everybody?
that is perfect.
It's a perspective, my perspective, so. It'll help, I think, with the new board members, and it'll give you some information. Ben shared some stuff, like, you guys will enjoy this. I'm Todd Vaughn, and it has been my privilege to serve on this board for the past 7 months. This will be my last board meeting, and I would like to briefly share my perspective on this experience. There are a number of elements that can cause an organization like UPTD to fail. These precursors of failure are nearly always related to poor leadership and bad decision-making. But in the case of UPTD, a transit district that is taxpayer funded, political agendas are an ever-present danger. You see, politicians love to take credit for fixing things, and you can't fix it if it isn't broken. It is therefore my opinion that this organization has been and will continue to be at risk of political agendas. I believe that our commissioners would like to reassume control of public transit and the funding that supports it. This is my opinion, but it is shared by others, and for good reason. According to a financial report recently released by Commissioner Tom Kress, Douglas County will have depleted its once enormous timber reserve fund within 2 years. At that point, at the current spending levels, we will be operating at a $16 million per year deficit, according to Tom Kress's numbers. Indeed, our county government is facing the same type of fiscal crisis that UPTD faced when I was appointed to the board. Let's consider some history. Ben went over some of it, but let me go over it again. Less than 1 year ago, UPTD was on the brink of insolvency. It had incurred nearly 50 non-compliance violations, many of which had been ignored despite numerous warnings. It had also incurred a $250,000 debt that it could not repay for electric vehicle chargers that it would never use and could never sell. Bankruptcy was inevitable, and the general manager, the ops manager, and 5 out of the 7 board members resigned. Michaela Hammerson, who had become the chair during this mass evacuation, did not give up on UPTD. She reached out to Ben Edel, a friend with business savvy, and asked him to look into the situation. Ben was contracted to do a complete assessment and to develop a pathway of resolution. While Ben got busy with his task, Michaela got busy recruiting new board members. She filled the empty slots with America First Patriots, who had previously worked together on a number of projects, including my own Republican primary campaign against the currently seated District 1 Senator David Brock Smith. Along with Michaela, 3 of the departing UPTD board members, Kathy Carreri, Jonna Still, and myself, had worked closely together on the Douglas County GOP Executive Board, a board from which Michaela, Kathy, and I were recalled at the behest of Douglas County's elected officials. There's a letter, if you ever get a chance to read it, you should. All because we vetted David Brock Smith and then attempted to primary him with my candidacy for a number of very good reasons. Once again, political agendas took precedence over that which is right. Primaries are a part of this process. There should never be anything wrong with running a good primary campaign against a seated senator. Director Lisa Lanza and Director Greg Kennelly are also friends and supporters of this group of patriots, and they completed this unified team. And it was a unified team. Our meetings were fun. We operated as a unit, and that's why it worked the way it did. Together, this replacement board hired Ben Edel as our interim CEO based on our belief and faith in Ben's assessment and in his proposed pathway of resolution. We did so under threat of legal action. As proposed, Ben made changes to the organizational structure, brought in some new key players. George was one of those, and so is Amira, and developed an executive team who, along with a unified board of directors, turned UPTD around. Recently, we hired Ben Edel as a permanent versus interim CEO, and once again, we did so under threat. This group of committed public servants has achieved things that no one believed was possible. And we have been under attack every step of the way. Why? Why have our selfless efforts and our astounding accomplishments not been resoundingly applauded? Why did our local GOP, under the guidance of our Douglas County Commissioners, go to so much effort to replace the current board by creating and endorsing a slate of candidates that included non-Republicans? Why? Why would you do that? Either way, we hand over an organization that is 100% compliant, whose funding is 100% secure. Our 25-26 budget reflects the huge benefits that result from competent leadership and good decision-making. We have an agreement with ODOT to repay the debt on the EV chargers in the form of installments. And we just gave our drivers, as we talked about tonight, a 5% cost of living raise. After which we are nearly $200,000 in the black for 25-26. Amazing. If the new board continues on the course that we have set, UPTD will grow and thrive. If not, you can rest assured that the political agendas of the power that be are once again taking precedence here in Douglas County. In closing, I would like to say, if a group of true public servants can turn UPTD around, then we can turn this failing county government around. And if we can turn the county around, we can turn the state around. But know this, we must have free and fair elections for this to happen. And currently, we do not. We do not have free and fair elections. We must work together to end vote by mail in Oregon. So I ask anybody who's listening to this, please support End VBM. Thank you. And what a pleasure it's been, you guys. Enjoyed every minute of it.
Thanks, Chuck.
Here, here.
Here.
All right. Any other comments online, or I'm going to move on to agenda build? Okay, let's move to agenda build. Okay, we know our basics that we're keeping: consent agenda, our ODOT update, our financial report, public comment on agenda items only. We'll keep our compliance update on there. You might want to put a note for the 365 compliance update to keep that on until October, just for the incoming board so that they don't lose track of that. We'll get an update on driver safety. So we can keep that on for old business. Town hall event, can we also put the target date on there for November for the incoming board so they don't lose track of that? Under new business, do we have anything? The new business is going to be to swear in the new board members. We're going to, as part of that, we'll need their packets, their new binders. Those are already created. Perfect. And we are also going to have the organizational meeting. So we will be selecting a new chair at the next meeting. And a new vice chair. So I will run the beginning of that meeting and then that will be passed over. So we actually need to do this. We're gonna need to do the organizational meeting closer to the top.
Okay.
So I don't know how we can sort of work that together, but that needs to be closer to the top. Okay, project updates, we'll keep that the same. CEO report. Project meeting. I actually like this. I think this new structure is really good for project updates. So we'll keep all of that. Oh, under new business, we'll probably want an update on the Washington DC. You guys think of anything else for new business next time? No? Anybody online? Anything under new business next meeting? Okay, perfect. Then we'll do not on agenda, public comment, not on agenda. Our agenda build, we don't need executive session next time. And adjournment. And speaking of adjournments, we are 4 minutes overdue, but if nobody stops me, I'm
Is this
gonna
a
adjourn this
record?
meeting. I'm trying to get to a lazy
This is
river.
Get to your laser, get Andre and Sherry back on vacation.
Okay, so 6:34, I'll adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, all you board people.
Bye, Lisa.
Bye, Todd. Thank